Is there a limitation, since we're now in a hybrid setup, is there a limitation to hybrid work from home options? Or does this mean we can work anywhere in the world?
I'll start off with the answer to that one. So obviously, when you're hybrid, okay, so two things. Obviously, we're hybrid and we're committed to being hybrid. But the reason we wanted to originally, our plan was to stay around certain hubs. So I kind of wanted people to stay around Cebu and around Manila. Those were the two hubs that we wanted, and we would have office spaces that people could access in those locations. And the reason we wanted to do that is so that if there's a problem with internet, power, computers, that we can just whiz you into the office straight away. We go, we pick you up, we bring you to the office, and it's seamless for the client, right? That's obviously changed a bit now because people have scattered a little bit. So around the Philippines, we have a process for deciding where you're planning to work from, and if it all stacks up and the client's okay with it and the equipment and etc. There's a whole process for that. I pretty much think we're at the point where we're okay with that. It makes team buildings harder, and it disperses the community connection. But, I guess if people really want that, then that's okay. When you start to talk about outside the Philippines, this is where we come into complexity, which I'm actually not sure what the answer is. Because we're a Philippines company and everyone's an employee of our Philippines company, I think that would have a ton of tax implications and legal implications for us and for you. So it's open for discussion. There are parts of the world that honestly, if you go to, it's so expensive to live in that you'll die within a week. So it's like, I wouldn't advise it, working at the virtual hub. But, there are other locations you could choose. But I think we would have to get a lot of advice around that. And that's a vague answer. But yeah. Mona, I'm sure you've got a take on that bit.
Yeah, on the legal implication part, that is always where I'm heading.
Yeah.
As a Philippine company, as a Filipino employee, there will be issues whenever you relocate to another country, and then your employment you are connected to a Filipino business. So we have not fully really
I'm just as I'm thinking about it as well, it raises a whole host of issues around private health cover,
benefits
mandatory. You'd probably lose all of those because you're outside the country. So I'm talking out loud here, thinking out loud, going, these would be the things we'd have to think about if it was outside the Philippines. But I think inside the Philippines we're becoming more open to that sort of thing, as long as it stacks up. Yeah. And you've been with us a while. I think, we open for discussion.
Yep.
Thank you, Barb. And just to add it there, because you mentioned that the hybrid setup really gives us that flexibility to work anywhere in the Philippines. But of course, we also need to involve this is not just a matter of a decision that you should make, but also to involve the entire pod system, the pod team that you're working with. That involves your results coach, your client success manager, and most especially the client you're supporting, because that would involve also you moving to a different location would also mean your internet service, your equipment, your contingency plan. So a lot of these things are involved, though it is really an option, but we want to be involved here as well.
And I'm sorry, I know we're pushed for time, but there's two things that have triggered me when you said that. So number one, sometimes clients will just go, yeah, sure, I don't care. But they don't understand the potential complexity, or they're like, oh, I'm fine with it until something goes wrong, and then they're not fine, right? And then they're coming to us complaining that, so that's one thing. And there's another type of client that actually doesn't want it to happen, but feels guilty about saying no, so they just say yes, and then they're resentful of it. So that's the client success manager's relationship with the client, that we've got to. Some clients will just feel almost like pushed into it and go, well, I didn't want to say no, so I just said yes. So we just got to think about all those things. But it is an option. Yes, it is an option.